What's up everyone, welcome to Pause to Pro episode 8, my first tournament not pausing. Well, it's my first tournament not pausing in like 2.5 years, so it's been a while. I needed some tournament reps and I haven't played in an event since the first week of July, which was the Mickelson Invitational. So it's been a while, too long for me. I kind of spent all summer tweaking my swing, trying to make the pause work. As you guys know, I quit the pause couple weeks ago and ready to start competing again. This is the same course that you guys have seen a couple videos on, but those were last spring, so I really just wanted to get some form of tournament reps. I didn't really care where that was. And I have signed up for 2 more, November 15th and 16th. I'm only gonna be filming one of those, so you guys will see that one pretty soon. You know, my game has been really sharp recently and coming around a lot, and the bowed wrist is like taking a little bit of time, but I'm seeing so much promise. But I didn't have insanely high expectations for this event, and I just tried not to have expectations at all with it. To be honest, it just has been a while since I've put myself in any sort of pressure situation, so I always know it takes me a couple rounds to get used to that. As usual, the rowback link in the description below will get you 20% off if you're a first-time buyer, so go check that out. And let's jump right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy watching me play some tournament golf without the pause. All right, guys, here we go. First shot in competition for 5 long months, and first shot in competition not pausing for 2.5 years. It's crazy. I was a little nervy on this tee box, I'm not gonna lie. I touched the golf ball there a little bit. It did not move. It kind of just oscillated, but I striped that. It was actually one of my best first tee shots in a tournament in a while. It was like the perfect little 4-iron. I lost balance on that wedge there a little bit. You're going to see me lose balance a couple times today, and that's mainly because with the golf swing I'm creating, I'm starting to get my shoulders involved a lot more. This is a very non-daunting starting hole for a tournament. That was the craziest putt I think I've ever hit. So I'm not going to lie. This is the only excuse I'm going to make. The practice green was a good amount, I would say 4 rolls faster than the actual greens. And that's my playing competitor's ball mark there as well. He also had like a 10-footer that he left 5 foot short. So it's not just me, I promise. I just literally could not tell myself to hit the ball any harder because I practiced putting for quite a bit before this round, and they were just a completely different speed. But yeah, it's a bad 3-putt. We 3-putted it nonetheless to start the day. Horrible stuff. That's a pipe drive, though. That's a low draw drive. I'm really starting to hit the ball a lot lower, which I'm loving to see because I've always hit the ball so darn high, just too high. So that was a good drive. That was a really good drive to start the day. First driver swing right in the middle of the fairway. Back before I started the pause, really the worst part of my game under pressure was driving the ball. So that's something that I'm really like focusing a lot on right now, making sure that we can drive it well. And have a go-to fairway finder when we need it. Now, oh my gosh, I don't know what to say here. Look at that ball, guys. It just kept rolling, you know? I left a 20-footer 10 feet short in the first hole, and then I blow a 35-footer 20 feet off the green on the next hole. Funny enough, I almost made that chip. You couldn't tell, but it was hanging on the lip. This is a par 5, by the way, so that was still a par. Really missed out on an easy birdie opportunity. Kind of stupid putting it off the green like that. Just wasn't really thinking, I guess. Just had a lapse of judgment there and blew it by. Didn't want to leave it short again like I did on the first hole, and I putted it off the green. So that's honestly a first, I think. I don't think I've ever putted a ball off the green like that down a ridge, especially in a tournament. But yeah, we're 1 over with 2 3-putts through 2. So it could be a little bit better. Hitting the ball well, hitting some good shots. Stuff that wedge shot. Something to notice is on the first hole of the day, I flew my wedge about 6 yards long, and I just flew this wedge just past the pin, spun it back nicely to about 4 feet. Lipped out low. Not a great start with the putter. I have not been really focusing too much on the putter. Also, guys, this is our first video using my new camcorder that will be used for 90% of my YouTube videos, other than my short course vlogs. And this thing is not cheap, so if you guys could leave a like on the video and subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, that That would mean a lot to me. We are still in the process of growing this YouTube and ready to come out with some good content. We also forgot to film this one in 4K. So all the settings are the same, but we just didn't put it in 4K, so it's not gonna be the highest quality. This will look a lot better in the future. But as I was saying, I've been focusing so hard on the swing change, the boat wrist, the not pausing, that I've kind of forgot that you need to work on your putting too, because putting is still how you get the ball in the hole. You know, you can hit the ball well, you can hit tons of greens, but if you're not going to putt too well, then you're not going to score that low. So it's okay though. We're still using this tournament as a stepping stone. We need to get used to not pausing under pressure. It's been too long and the swing just wants to feel a pause up there, so we're fighting that. Well, not really. It's not a natural feeling, but you know, I did get used to the pause playing in events and stuff like that for quite some time. Pretty good 7-iron there to the middle of the green. Solid 2-putt. Really just, a solid hole. I always look to par that hole. This was another really good swing. I hit a rope draw 4-iron. I actually nuked it. But yeah, I've put some really solid swings on the ball to start the day. We really haven't missed a green. We hit it on the back of the first fringe, but I kind of count that as hitting a green. So we've hit every green, hit almost every fairway. We have hit every fairway. Hit another solid wedge there. Spun back a little bit too much, but it was right at the pin. All three of my wedges to start the day have been just right on line with the flagstick, so that's really good. Tells me my club face control is a lot better than it used to be, and that's really was the whole goal of the swing change. Another short missed birdie putt, though. We have missed out on some opportunities for how well we are hitting the ball through these first 5 holes. Being one over is definitely a little bit disappointing. Absolutely loved that driver swing right there. It was just a mid-knuckly cut, just confident. It is a wide fairway, so I'm sure that definitely helps ease up the tension. But nonetheless, it was a good swing. This hole, I swear, I don't think I've ever hit a good approach shot into. It's so raised, you can't really see the green. You can only see the top of the pin. I always feel weird, like, taking the club I need to take because it plays a good solid club and a half uphill. Really poor chip there. Along with not practicing my putting enough, I definitely haven't been practicing my short game quite enough. Although the short game does get better throughout the round, that doesn't seem to really affect us as much as the putter. But yeah, that's still a disappointing bogey nonetheless, especially with a good drive off the tee. I really probably should have hit one more club, and instead of trying to sling a draw in there, just hitting a nice little fade, which the boat wrist has made so much easier now. So along with bowing my wrist, that makes the club shorter, because if you think about it, when you bow your wrist like that, you make the club face a little stronger, and you do have to go down and get the ball a little bit more. And sometimes when I don't, or I tee the ball down too low, I kind of top it like I did there. Now that still went about 220 yards with roll, so it's not like a full top, but nonetheless, I did top it. The thing was only in the air for about a second and a half. So it kind of left us a lot longer into this par 5 than we normally would have. We hit 3-wood right of the green. Still didn't leave ourselves in a bad spot. Really loved this shot. Like, it was exactly what I wanted to do. It was a 50-yard shot from the rough that I hit pretty low, and it actually spun back like 3 feet. So I still had a 15-footer, and we just never gave that a chance. Like I said, I leave a lot of putts short throughout this round. Make sure you guys keep an eye on that, because that's another one. And another par on a par 5 that we just shouldn't par. Anyways, still 2 over. Sluggish start, to say the least. Another solid swing here with the 7-iron to the middle of the green. Really liking a lot of these golf swings. I kind of pulled this one obviously a little bit, but I still like hitting the green on this hole regardless. But I'm still liking a lot of these swings. I'm taking the positive out of all this. Our club face control is still really solid. We're very rarely hitting it offline of our target by much. Solid speed on that one. We just got to clean up this little 3-footer here. And from what I remember, this was kind of a shaky stroke. Kind of thought I missed it at one point. Just kind of went in left edge. But we stay at 2 over par, par another par 3. We're on the 9th hole now. Solid drive. I really like this ball flight. I don't think these shot tracers are giving how low I was hitting it justice. I didn't quite think that bunker was in play on the right, but as you could tell, it just barely creeped in, and we kind of got a really bad break because it just only was in the bunker by like 2 feet, so we were on such a bad downslope below my feet, and it was just really hard to like pick it clean, and last thing I wanted to do was like skull it and hit it 20 yards over the green or something.
So we did just naturally chunk that a little bit. I've been spinning my chips a lot today, so I tried to land this one closer to the pin and just landed it a little bit too far. And then we missed the 10-footer for par. And yeah, that's another missed short putt. I think we missed 2 greens on that side and shot 3 over. So kind of speaks to just not making the most out of any hole whatsoever. But you know what? That's okay. We still hit the ball somewhat decent. I'm going to take the positives. Keep telling myself that. And 4-iron off the tee here, really, really hit this one well. One of the better swings of the day. I've hit the long irons very solid out the gate, which is, I think some of the last clubs to go on a swing change is your long irons and your driver. I think those are the 2 clubs that take the longest for you to get used to. But it's good to see myself hitting some really solid 4-irons. I kind of bailed on this one, took the safe route. That pin is all the way back left there, and if you're like 5 yards left of it or 5 yards long, you're going to be in the water. So I kind of bailed from going at the pin, even though we're 3 over, and hit it to the middle of the green. Kind of a poor lag putt there. We still got 4 feet to clean this one up. For par, this would be a really disappointing bogey if I didn't make this, but we knock it in. Stay at 3 over par. We got a par 5 next hole. Dogleg right. This one is always, I don't know, it always just used to set up kind of awkward for me because I never had a fade driver on demand, but I hit a nice little fade here. A little bit too much of a fade. I really thought this ball was in the fairway when I hit it, but it is just in the rough. It's above my feet. There's a tree in my way. I have to hit a fade with a 3-wood from 265 out. And I think this was my best shot of the day. If I were to be completely honest, just knowing that I had to fade it at all with an above my stance lie with a 3-wood. You can see the ball there. It's just left of the green, but we're going to be able to putt it. And I wish I could have that putt back because it bounced so much throughout the fairway fringe area. I should have chipped that. Never should have taken a putter. We still had about 6 feet of fairway to putt through. And that's just a mistake on my end. I was afraid to chip it, honestly, instead of putting it. And, bites me. Another kind of a 3-putt there for par. So we're just really just not making the most out of any of these holes. And I was a little flustered on this tee. Not sure why I had 3-wood in my hand. Been struggling a little bit to catch on with the 3-wood, bowing my wrist and stuff like that. So we kind of quit on that swing. We're going to be fine just in the right rough, but it definitely was probably our worst swing of the day. Tell I'm a little bit frustrated there. I think most of you guys would be frustrated from this round. But, whatever. We're still hitting it solid. Pulled this 9-iron a little bit, but we still are on the green. It wasn't sitting in the greatest lie in the rough. I had to kind of go down and get it. Give ourselves another 30-footer here. Another 2-putt. It's really disappointing that we just haven't had any birdies yet because this is a course I can... Oh, excuse me. I know I could tear up if I'm playing well, and putting well. I know I could tear this place up. But anyways, that's another par. Pars. Whole lot of those today. 200-yard par 3. I will say the par 3s are kind of difficult here. There's not really, other than the last par 3, there's none under like 190 yards. And they're always just kind of, I don't know, they're always kind of daunting looking. They're a lot harder than they look. But hit a solid shot there to 20 feet. Missed that putt. Going to be tapping in here for the par. How many greens have we hit this side? I think we've hit every green. Yeah, we've hit every green this side so far. So that's good. We're going to keep trying to do that. This hole is... I've eagled this hole my last 2 times playing this course in tournaments, which is... I think it's crazy. I think it's a very random stat. Definitely had that in my mind going into this hole, which I probably shouldn't have been thinking about that. But a really solid fairway finder up the right side here. That tracer makes it look like it lands past that bunker, but it's short of the bunker. Took a little distance off of it to make sure I hit the fairway. Tried to absolutely sling a 7-iron here because this green is just really strange, and if you land it short, it can like run for 30 yards, and you don't want to go long. So I thought there was just no way I was going to be short, but I should have hit 6. I missed that ridge by about 10 yards from being really good and having an eagle putt, so it was a miscalculation on my part. I had to hit this flop shot, landed at the top of the ridge like that. I did a really good job. I think that's about as close as I possibly could have hit that flop. I'm not even going to lie. I wasn't very upset with that shot just because I didn't have too much. We gave ourselves like a 15 to 20 footer. That's definitely 20 feet up the hill for birdie. Left it short though. That would have gone in if I hit it just a little bit harder. So it's another putt left short, another par on a par 5, which is just so disappointing for me at this place. But, you know, I didn't hit a bad drive there. I didn't really hit an awful iron shot either. I just, a little bit of an execution problem and just not playing quite confident enough. This will be our first missed green of the 9 here. Just kind of a heel banger out to the right. Pin high though. I really wanted to hit one close here and just kind of squeeze it back there on top of the ridge. But this was a nice little chip. Soft hands on this one. This was a lot more difficult than it looks. It looks so simple, but I just kind of had to land something on the green somewhat soft and have a trickle. So we almost made that one. Nice little tap-in par there. Good little confidence booster around the greens with the short game. We've missed our first green. Like I said, this drive was absolutely sick. Super stinger, Cameron Champ style. Pounded it too up the right side. Probably my favorite swing of the day with the driver. It was the exact shot that I am envisioning with these swing changes. Just a low, dead straight ball. And another good solid wedge shot here, just right of the pin. Pushed it barely, but still a good shot, nice and pin high. Leaves ourselves about like 12 to 14 feet, guys. I don't know why I feel like I'm struggling talking right now. You'll just have to bear with me. This is kind of a tough round to watch back. We left another birdie putt short. Another birdie putt short. We've missed one green this side and had 7 pars. But yeah, another really solid hole. You know, I played that hole well and just not a birdie. Just not making birdies, that's all. Low cut drive here. I kind of heeled it, but you know, if I'm missing it 275 in the right side of the fairway, then I'm a happy man. And yeah, solid drive in the fairway. I love being in the fairway. We got a 130-yard gap wedge here. I really liked this swing. Just hit a butter draw just right of it. Actually, just long of the pin as well. But we're going to give ourselves another nice look at birdie. So that's 2 holes in a row, having a 12 to 15-foot birdie putt, I would say. Actually, this one might be a little bit longer. Yeah, we'll call this one 15. We'll call this one 15 feet. Look at that, though. Ball didn't get to the hole. Left it short. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm watching this video back, and I'm just want to tell myself to hit it. Hit every putt 2 feet hard, or we might have made a couple putts today and shot something in the red numbers. But we're just kind of wimping up all those putts and lagging them up there. The first no-pause event, guys, is very underwhelming, and I do apologize for that. I hope you guys are willing to stick around for the process. Really just didn't play today aggressive enough, as you could tell. And first really bad drive of the day. Missed it right into the rough, but it's not way offline. Just, you know, missed my target by about 20 yards. Just didn't like seeing that overfade, but I would much rather see those barely missed right drives than the, you know, left or right or blah, 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 all over the place. If I could take out one side of the golf course, then I am a happy man. We left that iron shot a little bit short, so we missed 2 greens on this side, hit 7 out of 9 greens. Hit a lot of greens today in general, honestly. I think I only missed like 4. So we hit like 13, 14 greens, something like that. Someone check me on that. Look at that scorecard. 3 bogeys, whole lot of pars, 75. Underwhelming stuff.
It was an interesting round, to say the least. There's obviously 0 birdies, which I didn't see that coming. But I can equate 95% of that to just not making any putts and putting a little bit scared. I've probably put less time into my putting in the last 6 months than any 6-month span in my career. So it's on me. I've always been such a feel guy, thinking I can get away with it, but I really have been slacking. And I've just recently started, since that tournament, been practicing my putting for at least an hour every day. And let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see a putting lesson from my coach, Tim Cook, one of the top 100 coaches in the world. So if you'd like to see that, let me know down in the comments. It is definitely something I would love to show you guys. I mean, I shot 3 over par, 3 putted my first 2 holes of the day, and just didn't make diddly squat after that. So it definitely could have been a lot lower of a number. That being said, I'm taking the positives from this event. My swing still feels really good. I filmed the course vlog at Cabot Citrus Farms the next day. That's going to be my next video. I'm really excited for you guys to see that one. I just seemed to hit the ball really well, and putting came together just a little bit. You know, before I started the pause, I was a wreck in tournament golf. My tempo would get so quick, and my swing just looks a lot better right now. There was a couple swings where my tempo was a little bit off, my balance was a little bit off, but I think that bowed wrist really helps sync things up. I trust that my club face is more square throughout the swing, and that's 90% of the battle right there. Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed Pause to Pro episode 8. To much better golf in the future.